Humans have recorded the physical world around them for millennia. Long before the invention of the compass or the printing press, early societies carved into stone to capture the landscapes they inhabited. In 1900, a French archaeologist unearthed a broken, engraved stone slab from a Bronze Age burial mound in Brittany. For over a century, the St. Bellic slab sat in a castle cellar, categorized by scholars as abstract art, seemingly random lines and dots. That assumption held until 2014, when researchers scanned the stone and applied geolocation software. The pattern of lines matches the topography of the local Odette River Valley. It is an 80% accurate three-dimensional representation of an 18-mile territory. The central grooves mirror the river network, while carved bumps correspond to surrounding peaks. This is Europe's oldest known map. If ancient people could accurately map a kingdom without surveying equipment, it suggests many other prehistoric engravings are currently misunderstood, functioning as records of land rather than abstract design. Across the Eurasian continent, prehistoric rock art covers cave walls and cliff faces. For decades, archaeologists treated these dense, overlapping animals and hunters strictly as religious or decorative illustrations. Identifying an ancient map means distinguishing a literal portrait of a place from a diagram designed to communicate spatial relationships. Mapping requires a leap in perspective, moving from a ground-level profile, drawing a house as it appears from the front, to a plan view, looking down from above to show where that house sits in relation to its surroundings. This topological perspective is present in early Asian rock art. In these carvings from India, China, and Mongolia, notice the outer and closing lines creating distinct boundaries around the figures. These lines define a specific area where figures are arranged topologically, with tracks meeting the border at precise points indicating physical movement. When researchers apply this lens to other geometric patterns, like the subcircular enclosures in Sunik, Armenia, or the rectangular burial plans of Iktangar and Am in Mongolia, these carvings reveal themselves as intentional spatial records. As human societies grew into empires, cartography moved from stationary rock walls to portable media. In 1150 BC, an Egyptian scribe named Amenakte looked out over the harsh, arid mountains of the Wadi Hammamat. Tasked by Ramesses IV to secure building materials for royal statues, he documented the landscape on papyrus, creating the world's oldest surviving geological map. This map utilizes a color coding system to differentiate rock types. Metamorphic rocks are painted solid black, while sedimentary rocks are pink with brown bands. Following the white gravel wadi through the center, hieroglyphic text markers pinpoint gold deposits, a quarry, and a worker settlement. While the Egyptians mapped physical resources, later empires used cartography to define their place in the universe. By the 9th century BC, Babylonian mapmakers were translating their known world into strict geometric symbols. This clay tablet, the Imago Mundi, offers the oldest known depiction of the world. Central circles represent Babylonian cities, bisected by the Euphrates River. A large double ring encircles them, representing the Bitter River, while radiating triangles mark distant, mythical regions. By translating vast territories and geological data onto papyrus and clay, maps became instruments of administration. An emperor could inventory, tax, and control a landscape without setting foot on it. Having mapped the earth, imperial scholars eventually looked up. In 1903, archaeologists exploring the Mogao caves in China opened a sealed, hidden chamber containing thousands of ancient manuscripts. Among them was a document created during the Tang Dynasty, sometime in the 7th century. It had been locked away for 1,000 years. This is the Dunhuang star chart. It uses carefully plotted ink dots and connecting lines to represent constellations. Astronomers mapped over 1,300 stars onto a flat surface using a mathematical grid, anticipating the Mercator projection by centuries with remarkable 4-degree accuracy. This level of observation and mathematics shows that the mapping impulse was an attempt to impose order on the scale of the universe itself. The evidence spans the globe. Whether carving the grooves of a Bronze Age valley into slate, painting Egyptian geological formations onto papyrus, or graphing Tang Dynasty star clusters onto a scroll, The human mind is designed to translate three-dimensional reality into two-dimensional data. This instinct allowed early groups to navigate hostile terrain, communicate the location of resources, and organize territory long before the existence of a written alphabet. Today, we now rely on constellations of satellite networks to project real-time spatial data directly into the palms of our hands, but the core cognitive process remains the same. The next time you glance at your phone for directions, you are reading the latest iteration of a spatial language our ancestors began writing over 4,000 years ago.